Y'all playing with the wrong person.
Somebody shot.
And then I heard some screams, and then I heard the gunshot.
And he said, I killed her. And I said, what? And he said, I killed her. I killed her. He's dead.
Oh my gosh, please.
911, where's your emergency?
98 Road, Lake City, Arkansas. Please, ma'am. Oh, please, ma'am.
What's going on?
Please.
What do you need, a police or an ambulance or what? You got to calm down and tell me.
Yes, I've heard shots fired, and my niece went to the trailer to get her stuff, and when she did, there were shots fired.
Okay, what's the address?
Her husband, whenever he run out of the house and got her car.
On August 24th, 2019, the Jonesboro Police Department received this chilling 911 call. The aunt of 37-year-old Melinda Colburn has just witnessed her beloved niece being brutally murdered in front of her very eyes. The officers rushed to the scene to ID and neutralize the killer. Little did they know, Melinda was not the only person on the killer's hit list. Melinda Colburn was a small-town girl who thrived in the love and comfort of her large extended family. Raised in Gwynn, Alabama, a town of just 2,000 people, she was known for her wild sense of humor, her kindness, and her commitment to her loved one's mother and children. She eventually moved to Jonesboro, Arkansas, where she lived with and cared for her ailing mother, Mitzi. In 2018, her mother passed away, which rocked her entire world. Perhaps this is when she began to lean more into the arms of her boyfriend, Marco Deshawn Clark, who many knew as Cole. According to Melinda's Facebook, she and Clark met in 2017. By March of 2019, they were married and living together in a home in Lake City. It is this very home where tragedy struck on August 24, 2019, just a few months after Marco exchanged vows with Melinda, promising to honor, love, protect, and care for her. But as you can tell from the 911 call, Marco did just the opposite of that.
Oh my gosh, please.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, this is Karen with the Crane County 911. Go ahead. 98 Road, Lake City, Arkansas. Please, ma'am. Oh, please, ma'am.
What's going on?
Please.
What do you need, a police or an ambulance or what? You got to calm down and tell me.
Yes, I've heard shots fired, and my niece went to the trailer to get her stuff, and when she did, there were shots fired.
Okay, what's the address?
Her husband, whenever he run out of the house and got her car.
Melinda's aunt has just discovered her body, along with several of the neighbors on the scene. These many witnesses will be a major help to law enforcement, who have already identified the man who shot Melinda as her partner. When officers arrive on the scene, however, they realize just how familiar this address is to them, and it unravels a web of grief with one question at the center. Could they have stopped this before it happened?
Somebody shot.
The guy left in a white car, fastest to go, a black guy.
It was her boyfriend or husband. I don't know if they're married or not. She told me they was, but it wasn't her boyfriend. She had a stranger.
What's his name, Robin? What's his name?
Is the guy that's got a protection order here?
Yeah, she did. The guy, the sheriff from Lake City come down here, and yes, she has had a protection thing against him.
Do you know what his name is?
Cole, I believe it's Clark. Cole Clark. Now, she come to my house to talk to me, and she was gonna get the trash out of the trailer. If I knew he'd have been here, I'd have called y'all. I had no idea. They had to be watching. They had to be watching.
Check for pulse.
No, lady, come here, no. Jamie, no.
Tragically, Melinda was dead long before officers arrived on the scene. As they looked over her body, it became clear why.
Gunshot wound. We checked for pulse and did all that, but it looks like she's. Well, we hadn't turned her over or anything. Looks the only one we can see right now is on her arm.
There's like one in the back too. We can't find a hole.
Yeah, that might be a hole that's coming out right there.
Yeah. Okay.
In total, Melinda had been shot 5 times. It is tragically common for intimate partners who murder to commit overkill on the victim, shooting them or stabbing them beyond what is necessary to take their life. This is often a reflection of the perpetrator's unjust anger and hatred towards the victim.
Okay, so who saw it? Anybody?
We just heard shots. When I come through, he was leaving. All back out in front of me, it was a white Charger. Probably a new white Charger.
Okay, so they were in a Charger or Camaro?
Charger.
Okay. A new one?
Yeah.
And you pow, 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 black guy, he run, got in his car.
Did you see what he looked like?
Well, I've seen him here before.
Okay.
I live right there.
Okay. Do you know his name?
Cole Clark, because the sheriff, when he come up, he said the whole name, and I didn't recognize, but it was different. The sheriff at Lake City knows it, but I always went by him by Cole. But the last name was Clark.
Can you tell them the car, what it is exactly,
Hey.
so they can
Come her back up.
get something going?
White
She
Dodge
did have a
Charger.
red one, but she changed it to get away from him. But she...
Okay, y'all hadn't touched anything or nothing like that, have you?
All I did was cover her up.
No, we haven't touched
We didn't touch
Okay.
it. She, her glasses were
Okay, where do y'all live? Right here?
I'm her aunt. I
Okay.
live right next door.
and we're right back
She was just
here.
over there talking to me.
Let's go back in the street just because I don't want to. CID's gonna come out here, and I don't want to. I don't want to mess up anything that could be in the yard or step on anything and bury it.
I got her glasses.
Okay, just
they
lay them on top of that hood right there,
Okay.
and that'll be all right.
Hey, I went in the trailer.
Fortunately, Melinda's aunt, who Melinda had come to visit, had more clear details to provide law enforcement with.
Now, where does she usually park? Does she park in your driveway or does she park over here?
No, she always parks right here.
Okay.
But see, she's not been living here. She left here, what, 2 weeks ago, 3, because Garland Tipton, he come down here and made him leave.
So,
He got him to
so
leave,
Melinda
and
put on Facebook,
he's
she's
not
trying to get
he's not
hold
been
of
here.
But
I had
she
no
was still
idea
here,
he
right?
was here. No, she's been living in Jonesboro. She called
Okay.
me to come out here to pay me. She was going to come last night. She come out here to pay me $20 she'd owed me. And she was talking about she was going over there to get her trash to put it in my dumpster. I said, that's fine. And she was going to get a few dishes.
All right.
And then I heard some screams, and then I heard the gunshot.
I'm gonna pass it
Okay.
on.
And that's what I heard.
And the vehicle was in. Now, do you know if
And I
that
seen
vehicle?
him, yes.
Do you know if that vehicle was in your driveway like before? Like, did he pull up in it, or was that car already here? She didn't
No,
park
it
it.
was her car. He was in the trailer waiting on her.
Okay.
She was by herself.
They're still in there.
Okay, so she pulled up in the car.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Yes, she covered. He wasn't with her.
Okay.
I'll let Heather know.
Melinda had filed a protection order against Marco. Even after he was forcibly removed from her house by the Craighead County Sheriff's Office on August 7th, she was so fearful of him that she also left and went into hiding at a relative's house. She had only come back to her house to pick up the mail and throw out the trash, completely unaware that Marco was lying in wait to kill her. Police slowly came to the realization that Melinda had done everything right to protect herself, and tragically, it wasn't enough. Had Marco been put behind bars for his abuse, Melinda may still be alive today. Clearly, one of the officers realizes the weight of this mistake.
We got an email not too long ago about serving a protection order over here. I tried to serve it on this trailer on a black male. Okay. And nobody would come to the door. I wrote down on the piece of paper, tried to serve it. Well, apparently there was a final order of protection that we got an email on about serving this on this Clark guy. So that's probably that's definitely, it's not looking good for him, you know? Yeah, we got to find this guy.
She said that Garland was out here about 2 weeks ago and made this guy leave.
2 weeks. So I guess he served the protection order on him then, because that was the dude that had the protection order. He should have hooked him up then.
Well, when I called and got his return, I called Steven and I said she should be a protected person under either a temporary order or a final order, one of the two.
You got Garland's number? And see maybe if he knows where this dude's, since he had dealings with him? Because I've never seen the dude in person. I just come out here to try to serve that protection order, and that was it.
I've heard that girl's name. I never heard his, but I'm pretty sure I've heard that. Did we get an email on her maybe?
Yeah, we
Okay,
just got one, a final order of protection. So that's that. So he didn't serve that paperwork, which confuses me even more that Garland didn't serve it. You know what I mean? I mean, not that it was going to help this situation, but yeah.
In Arkansas, a final order of protection is delivered after a court hearing takes place where both the victim and the abuser are present. Final orders make it illegal for the abuser to contact, be near, or message the victim for any span of time ranging from 3 months to 10 years. Melinda was granted a final order of protection lasting 10 years, from August 19, 2019 until August 19, 2029. She was granted this order of protection just 5 days before she was murdered. Statistically, the most dangerous time in an abusive relationship is when a victim tries to leave, which is part of the reason why it is so challenging for women to escape abusive relationships. The report that Melinda filed gives a glimpse into why the 10-year order was so necessary and what trauma she endured at this man's hands. Now specifically quoting from the document. "Went to sleep around 7:30. He came and woke me up asking who the F is the dude I was messaging. I said somebody that just got fired that I worked with. He asked me why was I messaging other dudes. Ain't been messaging anybody else that got fired. And he said he was going to beat me with the hammer and stomp my skull in. He said he was going to smash my toes and fingers and that he would cut my effing head off. Been going on since around November of 2017. He has put a gun in my mouth and made me get on my knees on the bathroom floor. He has choked me on the floor. Says he is going to chop all my limbs off and scatter them. He will kill anybody close to me because he has nothing to lose, and that he is not effed up about the police, and he will do anything in his power to find me." End quote. In a domestic violence lethality screening, used to determine how at risk a victim is of being murdered, there are 3 questions that must be answered first. If the answer is yes to any of these 3 questions, the victim must automatically be referred to domestic violence resources and services because of how high risk their situation is. Melinda answered yes to all 3. At the bottom of the survey, the administrator reported that Melinda, now quoting, honestly believes that he will try to kill her and her family. Even if he goes to jail, she is worried about the safety of herself and her family, end quote. Melinda was terrified. And as police continued to investigate, they saw the extent of her fear.
We're gonna block the road off? White. They said a newer white Dodge Charger.
He's saying it's red. It comes back to her.
The neighbor said she thinks it's 2019.
Well, they said white. They said they were for sure it was white. But it may not be his. They said he jumped in it. I don't know if he was by himself or not, you know.
Melinda's car repeatedly came back as a red vehicle, and yet every witness on the scene claimed the car was white. It wasn't until later that one of Melinda's friends revealed why that was. After she had separated from Marco, she paid to get a new car so that Marco wouldn't recognize the car and be able to track her down in her hiding spot. She was so terrified of Marco that she drove to Missouri to trade in and purchase a different car so that he couldn't find her the day after she got the protection order from him. And she wasn't the only one afraid of Marco and what he was capable of. His closest friend was terrified as well.
His sister called. He called his sister. They put a call on R&D. She called up here wanting to know if this girl's dead. And I called her, and she goes, I just want to know if she's dead. And I said, I can't tell you that. And she said, well, I'm leaving Williford right now. I'm coming in there and check on her myself. She said, my brother called and said he had killed her. I don't believe him or not. And I said, will you tell me where he was headed? And she goes, I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. And I said, what did he call from? And she said, a 901 number. And she goes, I'm coming down there. And I said, all right. And she wouldn't tell me what number. And she goes, I'll just meet you down there. And I said, okay. So if she'll give me that number when she gets here, then that's fine. She can drive down here.
Yeah, we gotta find her.
Police were shocked that Marco had called Cindy Davis, his close friend who he referred to as a sister, and openly admitted that he shot Melinda. They were even more shocked that Cindy agreed to come to the station shortly and do an interview with them. At the same time, calls were flooding in related to the incident. After killing Melinda, Marco had allegedly called an associate and threatened to come for him next. Police had a killer on the loose, and no phone number to track him down with, and no known address to report to. Thankfully, Cindy was willing to give law enforcement Marco's number when she arrived at the station. Her terror is evident.
You understand, I'm a single mother, full of kids, so if he knows I'm up here talking to you, you're not telling the other people to come looking for me, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm really terrified myself right now. But, just say that you got it off of her phone. It's, this number right here. 911. Then, I don't know, me and one of my friends was talking, and like I told the police officer earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if he ain't the next one to find dead, because I've never heard him cry like that, and me and my friend was talking about it because he called him crying too, and we both said he's probably somewhere fixing to take himself out.
Clark is? Do you know where he lives at? Or
We didn't know where that was his house.
does he have any family in the area or anything?
He's got a cousin, but I don't remember his name. God, he drives an Avalanche, and I don't even know if I could probably recognize him from Facebook. Hang on. Most of his family don't live here. They live in Memphis. And I know he's got like an ex and some kids that live in Memphis and Texas and
Like an ex-wife that lives in Memphis?
Well, I don't know if they was ever married, but I know that he's got kids with the woman.
Police sat down with Cindy, hopeful they could get to the bottom of where Marco had fled.
So,
He had called me.
he had been, no,
Or
who?
Marco.
Marco
Clark.
Marco Clark called you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he said, I killed her. And I said, what? And he said, I killed her. And he was crying, of course. I couldn't, I was trying to make out what he was saying. And I was like, you're playing. And he was like, no, I killed her. I killed the bitch. She's dead. I'm in shock, not believing it. And he said, I shot her in the head at her aunt, in her aunt's yard. And I said, Cole, why? Why did you do this? And he said, I told y'all I needed y'all. And I said, Cole, why didn't you just leave her alone?
Though police had no hints about Marco's whereabouts, Cindy providing them with his number gave them one key that they absolutely needed. Unfortunately, they were going to need to act fast, because as the hours ticked by, Marco's rage and erratic behavior only grew. Melinda's stepmother and her best friend were both shocked when a message from Melinda's Facebook page popped up on their phones after Melinda's murder. They had spoken with the police regarding stomach-churning exchanges that they had with Marco, who was using Melinda's account after murdering her. It is important to note that Melinda did not have an affair with a coworker, and even if she did, it would not warrant her senseless death, nor Marco taunting her stepmother about it. Police were alarmed to find another person on Marco's hit list, the man he claimed Melinda was having an affair with. But he wasn't the only person.
I'm gonna get every motherfucker that don't ever did me wrong in Jonesboro. Just know I'm coming for y'all motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck who you is or whatever. Hey, it is what it is. I give two fucks right now. The bitch deserve it. And what? I'm killing the next motherfucker too. I don't give a fuck. Said looking for me? Oh well. Come and get me. Come on.
Marco posted this video, as well as another, on Facebook the very same day he murdered Melinda. The video showed police how dangerous Marco really could be, but at the same time it showed them that he wasn't an intelligent killer. Repeating that he doesn't care over and over is an attempt to look like a hardened criminal and play the part of a scary, powerful villain. In reality, the mere repetition of it indicates that he does care. This gives the police something easy to latch onto and subvert when they'll interview him.
I'm scoping y'all out next. Call the police and tell them that, bitch. That's the main, you know what I'm saying? That's the main question right there. Who gonna be my next motherfucking victim in Jonesboro? Who?
Keep in mind Marco's threats against the cops and his orchestrated portrayal of being a tough, ruthless killer, because it only adds to what happened next. With these videos being posted, police believe that Marco was still in Jonesboro. With his phone number in hand, they decided to do the obvious. They decided to call Marco. Marco picked up on the first ring. After hearing it was the police, he promptly hung up. The detective called him 4 more times, and through several minutes of conversation, convinced Marco to turn himself over to the police station. A murder suspect turning themselves in is practically unheard of, especially one who has openly claimed that they're going to kill the police. So law enforcement were on edge, and they gave Marco specific instructions to follow when he arrived at the station. He was to park in front of the deputy's car, put his hands up, and make his whole body visible. But is that what he would actually do if he had nothing to lose, like he claimed? Shockingly, the police were able to take Marco in without incident. They sat him in the interview room to get answers from him. Little did they know that Marco was going to be as blunt as he was remorseless. Now, before we go on, if you're enjoying the video, please make sure to subscribe. Your support keeps the content coming. Now, back to the video.
Of course, we know you just turned yourself in, and you were the suspect in the shooting death of Melinda on 988, County Road 988, correct? Yes. Okay. Marco, or did you shoot Melinda to death? Yes. Will you say it a little louder? Yeah. Okay. But one, I'm hard of hearing. 2, we're recording. Okay. Okay. What kind of gun did you use? 9mm. So, semi-automatic, I guess. Yeah. What kind of gun was it? It was a Taurus. Taurus? Yeah. Okay. Can you help me locate that gun? Yes. What'd you do with it? I threw it off the road, right there before you get into Raven Million. Coming from Hardy, or the other side, that side of Hardy, or this side of Hardy? It's gonna be on this side though. I had thrown it out. I don't know because I was advised don't have a gun on it, period. Yeah. You know, just. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I get that. You know, you could lock it in the trunk, but you think you could take us to it to find it before some kid comes up on it? Yeah. How'd you get to her house, bud? I get there. Mm-hmm. I've been there. How long? I mean, she had left. She had moved all the stuff out. Uh-huh. When? She moved all the stuff out like last week. And was staying with a friend. Okay. Who's she staying with you now? A girl named Alicia. Okay. Alicia Brown. So you've been at the house the past week? Yeah. Okay. I mean, she ain't been there, so. Okay. You lived there, didn't you? Didn't y'all live together? Yeah, that's my wife. Okay. How long did y'all live there? About 2 years. Okay. Y'all are actually legally married? Yeah. Okay. And what happened today to cause you to shear, bud? I mean, it was a bunch of sneaky stuff going on, you know, like with her sending nude pictures to dudes and all that there, like, and it was just, and then like she was talking to somebody at her job and thought I was gonna find out about it. And I told her, you know, I told her from the jump, like, hey, you know, like, I ain't got time for this here, like, you know, because she really wanted to on me because of her past. Yeah. And I told her, I was like, don't try to take your past out on me. If you don't want me to take my past out on you. Mm-hmm. So she did it anyway. So you thought she was cheating on you? It wasn't no thinking. It's what I actually seen. So she's actually sending news to other men? Yeah. And then where was you at when she moved out?
When Marco's quote-unquote sister was interviewed, she had a very, very different story about who was cheating. And she had nothing to gain by lying.
No. I mean, I knew he was cheating on her.
You knew
I did
what?
know that. I did know that he was having an affair on her. And there was numerous times I told my husband I wanted to tell her about it. I thought she had the right to know, and my husband told me to stay out of it. It was none of my business, you know, so I just kind of stayed out of it. But
he had an affair on her, you said?
All the time, yes.
There's probably that's why he killed her, because she was having an affair.
No, she wasn't.
Well,
Melinda was,
Hmm?
y'all have to understand, Melinda was heaven sent.
Huh?
She was heaven sent. You know, like, I mean, the girl was a saint. When my daughter had a birthday and I couldn't afford to get her a birthday, Melinda worked all day, got off work, went and bought her birthday cake, bought her birthday presents, and drove all the way to my house. She didn't have to do that. So you can't tell me that she was having an affair. I think there was reasons that she was leaving him. Maybe there was another man, but I never would believe that she cheated on him. I think it was the way he treated her that pushed her away.
Marco's sister describing Melinda as quote-unquote heaven sent and the son, in spite of leaving Marco, speaks volumes about who she was as a person. But Marco's plan was all the same, whether she was cheating or not.
Where did you meet her that day? Out in the yard or in the house?
I mean, she came. She was coming. I seen when she pulled up to our auntie house. When she pulled up to our auntie house, and I was just kind of sitting there just waiting.
Did she come in the house?
She was about to.
Where did you shoot her? Where was you at when you shot her? You remember?
In the front yard. I mean, I really wasn't gonna shoot her. You know, I really was just gonna talk to her and see who work things out. But I don't know. I guess things just got the best of it. So.
Did y'all talk any at all? Did she see you coming out of the house or something? No. Did you have a gun in your hand then?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she say anything or scream or did you say let's talk or?
I mean, I had told her let's talk, and she was trying to run off.
No, she run. So was you like on the porch when you started shooting, or was you down on the grass?
Actually, the gun was jammed.
Uh-huh.
The gun was jammed, so you didn't know. I know y'all probably seen some rounds, but his body, I know y'all probably picked him up.
And you recycled it and chased her and shot her?
You didn't chase her, just right there at that bush.
Yeah, right there in front of the trailer. Did you shoot her anymore once she went down? Or do you?
I mean, when I seen blood, I really just turned around and just walked over to the car.
Do you know how many times you shot her?
Can you tell me? Can you tell me?
Well, we're going to have to see what's entrance and what's exit, but for some, she had about 8 holes in there. Of course, some of them were exit wounds. How many clip bullets were in your mag, you know? Did you have any left?
I think it was probably like 3 left.
Okay. Are they still in that gun just laid in the ditch? Okay, we need to get that before some child goes upon it.
It's interesting that Marco claims that he never meant to shoot Melinda in an attempt to soften the crime he committed. It's possible that he's trying to avoid being jailed for premeditated murder, though him lying in wait for Melinda for a full week with a gun says otherwise. The officer has another concern regarding premeditation that needs to be addressed. When police were issued a search warrant for Melinda's home, they made a shocking discovery.
Sheriff's office.
It stinks.
Is that not natural gas?
Yeah, it is.
Marco had intentionally left the propane stove on in the house, putting the entire building at risk of exploding.
The stove was on, the gas going. Did you know that? The stove was on with the gas going. Did you turn the stove on, or?
I mean, it was basically like those whole days I was there. Like basically, it was me contemplating killing myself versus me having to do her.
Is that one of the stoves on? Was you trying to kill yourself?
No.
By gas, or was you gonna blow yourself up?
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Was you gonna shoot her when she come in, hope the trailer exploded and got you both? Was that any part of your idea? No. Okay. So you was gonna kill yourself today with the gas on? Is that right?
I'm gonna have to.
Huh?
A couple of days like that.
Do you remember turning the gas on?
No.
How long did you turn the gas on before she got there?
Yeah, it's been on.
Oh, the whole time? Wow. Was you in there waiting on her to kill her today? I mean, had it crossed your mind, you know, I'm gonna kill her. The minute she comes up, I'm gonna kill her.
Man, look, it's been crossing. It's been crossing my mind.
Killing her and yourself.
I mean, you know. I mean, like I told her, like, you know, before we got married, you know, like, hey, you know.
Okay. How'd you know her keys were in the car?
Marco showed the detectives where he threw the gun, but the next day, law enforcement was unable to locate it. They called Marco in from the jail to ask him more questions. In just the 2 days since Marco had given himself in, he already had to be removed from general housing and put in solitary. He told guards that if he had to be kept with anyone else, he would probably kill them. Because of this, he was put on suicide watch and put in a lone cell for close monitoring. In addition, however, Marco discloses some new information about his plan to take Melinda's life.
You said you were in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
And she came up. Did she actually come in the trailer? Or just open the door?
And
or did you go outside and meet her?
No, she pulled up the auntie out first.
Yeah.
And I had the window open so I can see the street. Like when somebody pulled them onto the street. And I think when she pulled up the auntie outside. Come and just sit there in the window and watch until she got out of her auntie house to come over to the trailer. Because I already know that she was going to come to the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I already know that she was going to come. I already know.
How'd you know that?
Huh? Because I set a trap, that's all.
Set a trap?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Marco set a trap for Melinda by discontinuing the cards that she used for payroll. He knew that eventually she would be forced to come back to retrieve the newly issued cards that would be delivered in the mail. Once again, this speaks to his level of premeditation. The officer asks for a clearer picture of how Marco killed Melinda.
Pretend that white wall is the road behind you and just say that this is the tree where she was at. Can you kind of show me what you did?
I gotta put it from my position.
Huh?
I gotta put it from my visual.
That's fine. And just kind of tell me where things are.
This the one tree.
Okay. You can get this out of the way.
Leave that one.
Okay.
This the tree that she was under.
The tree that she was under, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I came out. Came down and started, first year, huh? And I was one eye. And it did shoot side down. So I kind of came around, right at the tip of the trailer, with them two trees directly. It still wouldn't sound like down. So that's when I hit her with the gun, try to slow it down, then came it out. I ejected. They like to go.
Yeah.
And the bullet came out.
Okay.
When the bullet came out, she pretty much was down on the ground like this right here.
Uh-huh.
She had her hands up.
Okay. She had her hands up?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she had her hands up and she said, and she was screaming her auntie name. I told her, I said, your auntie ain't gonna be able to fucking help you. You know what I'm saying? And then shot the road back there. And that was me to her. And I just leave like this, huh?
Okay. Which way's her head facing? From you?
She was looking at me.
Okay. So, I mean, but are you at her head or at her feet?
She on the ground, and I'm just right here.
Yeah, but I mean, is she laying with her head towards you, or are you standing her head or at her feet?
She was sitting up like this right here.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you now.
Like I said, I went on top, and then she had just went over like this, huh? Cause at first when I shot, I'm like, damn. I'm like, I don't see where I shot her at. And then when she kind of went over like the girl, she, you know what I'm saying, like when she stopped saying like 1990, she went over, and her shirt came up, and I seen the blood running down her back. Then that's when I picked the keys up, and I went on to the car. You know.
Didn't you tell me you had to take a step back to actually get a shot on her, or is that what you said this morning?
I had to take my step back. I was back there.
Okay. All right. But your back was toward that big pot where them bricks are. Okay. All right. So that makes sense then. And you said you've been there since Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday. I mean, it was gonna happen. It was gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway. I mean, it was either that or go over there to the house, where she been staying, or go to her job. I mean, so, hey, I mean.
What do you mean it was going to happen? You mean shooting her?
Yeah, it was going to happen.
Okay. So what was the, you told me just a minute ago that you had a knife and a ski mask and binoculars. What was that, what was that for?
What it was for? It was for when I had to, if I had to go to a job, I was gonna make sure that I clear outside of her or whatever.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. It ain't no, like I said, it ain't no secret, like it was gonna happen anyway. So I mean, it was all of those things. I mean, so nobody wasn't gonna stop it. Jack got fucking told, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fucking Jack got told her from jump. I told her from Jump Street, you know what? If anybody ever want to really do something to a person, ain't nobody gonna stop them. No police gonna stop them or whatever. The police can't be around you 24/7, and that what kills me about it, you know, about her coming to the police and saying, I'm talking about, like, the only thing she had to do was just be truthful from the jump and say, hey, look, you know what? Hey, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to marry you, and all the girl. That's all. That's all. I told her what I stood on from the jump. Like I said, the whole world might look at me like, oh man, you so sick, you know what I'm saying, for shooting her. But I'm like, damn, but what gives a fucking woman, you know what I'm saying, the right, the same way that it might be like, okay, well, what gives me the right to shoot a woman? Okay, well, what gives a woman the right to do the shit to a man, to hurt a man?
Marco's demeanor completely changes when he's talking about killing Melinda and intimidating her prior to her death. This is just a glimpse of the kind of behavior that Melinda was facing. A man who told her the police couldn't save her and that he would end her life no matter what she did. Marco pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life in prison for the senseless murder of Melinda Colburn.